Hi everyone, I'm Tex. You may have seen me in the other Pesterquest streams. Um, I run Homestuck the Musical, and I'll be voicing Roxy for this.
You've spent a good few days fucking around with your newest friends. They seem to be on their respective paths towards something. You're not exactly sure if self-actualization is part of it, but you're trying not to be too bent up about it. This Earth's friend group seems to have a lot of, interpersonal complexity. To be fair, you do only really know half of the friendship quadrangle. It's probably past time to meet the other two corners of it, see what all the fuss is about, get their side of all the drama before you leap to any more judgments. You've thought a lot about what you said to Jake, and what you wanted to say but didn't. Your shame at the thought that you might also be erring passively on the side of friendship sloshes uncomfortably in your belly, against the fear that you may be choosing too much, wanting too much, changing too much. Because you've thought a lot about what Jade said to you too. That's probably why you bothered to get Roxy's address from Jane. You can't exactly stop making new friends because you aren't ready to think about what your purpose would be without that, but maybe you could do it the old-fashioned way this time? Showing up on somebody's doorstep via the accepted human method of following directions to their domicile-specific government-assigned number seems like it might be a better start than, just zapping directly to them when they're taking a shit or something. Which is definitely a hypothetical situation and not at all something that happened to you recently. Anyway, you came up with a plan and everything. You're not a real mailman that you know of, but you've grown to appreciate and respect the profession, so you don't mind LARPing it once more. You wonder briefly if there might be other guises under which people might go up to another person's house and knock on their door, but almost none of your friends ever leave their fucking rooms, so you sure wouldn't know. You zap down the street from her house and walk up the long, scary driveway through the trees, over a bridge, and up to her door. Okay, so not exactly a normal human method. What, were you supposed to stroll all the way to New York from Jane's place? She'd offered you bus money, but then remembered her fortune is tainted. She vacillated between giving you every single one of her dollars and burning it all in a symbolic bonfire until the two of you landed on moving to a new, hopefully untraceable bank account. You're really not sure how deep the Batter Witch's surveillance goes, but Jane seemed satisfied, at least. She's going through a lot. You know how it is, having to endure huge, life-upending bouts of information being tossed at you more or less weekly yourself. So, yeah, you've skipped a step in your mail personally sojourn, but you made it to Roxy's house in a respectable manner, which was the whole point. You're gonna make the fuck out of a good impression. You knock, and you wait. The person who comes to the door is not Roxy. At least, she doesn't look like the photo of Roxy Jane showed you. Oh, fuck, unless Roxy's a catfish? You did not expect this.
Oh, it's you. This could be interesting.
You blink. It is you. She got that part right. Do you know her? You scour her features. She does seem familiar, like a friend you almost had, or did have, a very long time ago, or moderately long ago, depending on the perspective you're looking at time from. You wonder, have the two of you met before?
No, we have not, nor was I expecting the pleasure.
Ah, shit. You thought you were onto something for once. You wonder how many more levels of memory are buried, twisted under a blown synapse in your burned-out brain. You have to move forward and give up on chasing down whatever buck-wild theory you were inching toward there. There are real mysteries afoot with this stranger. This feels like a decisive moment if there ever was one. And we are going to catch the catfish in her river of lies. You know how this shit goes. It's time to sit down, just the two of you, to talk through some hard truths before asking Jane if they want to meet for a tense but hopefully cathartic confrontation. Which you'll have to film, of course. Shit, okay, it's go time. You take a deep breath and call her out like the slick sleuth you are. You know she's been pretending to be friends with Jane online.
Oh, this is far cuter than I expected. Both the situation and your little self, I mean. I have in no way been doing that. It is more refreshing than I have thought, though, to be reminded that there are dramas with stakes like these out there. In the midst of all this.
Her eyebrows pull together as her gaze goes right through you. You turn around, but there's nothing out there.
While some of my moves, both personal and political, have brought my path across her, family, I haven't interfered directly with Jane's life, and I don't intend to start. Can you say the same, friend? Is there a way you can justify the strings you're pulling? I won't stop you, of course. I have my own matters to attend to. This is only food for thought, and I can see you are intellectually underfed. It just might be worth your while to contemplate the repercussions of the paths you're on. Did you have any further questions, or did you just come all this way just for that?
You really aren't sure. Man, it seems like all you do is contemplate your path. You feel it all turned around inside. Talking to whoever this is made you feel like you got stayed up too late staring at the moon and got all fucked up thinking about existence until you felt too stupid to think anymore. But, like, in a good way? You stare blankly at her while you try to remember your purpose.
I will go ahead and take that as a no. Good luck, friend.
She shuts the door and you turn, bewildered, back toward the long driveway. Well, okay then. You sure met someone. It definitely wasn't Roxy, and you don't think whatever just happened counts as a friendship, so you guess this one's a loss. Was it because you cheated at traveling like a regular person? Friendless and rudderless? You start the long, pointless walk of penance to somewhere.
What just happened?
So we're going to say, there's gotta be another answer here. Oh, wait. You're an idiot. This is an adult. You've been spending too much time with marginally supervised aliens and a lonely marooned boy recently that you forgot that Roxy probably lives with her parents. And it's 50-50 on the possibility of a stuffed grandma rose somewhere in there, if the pattern holds. It's feasible she could have told her mom about you. You play it safe, and instead of accusing anyone of online identity crime, you ask if Roxy's home. She stares at you for a moment, her lips slightly parted. You get the feeling she's not often caught off guard, and you wonder what it is you've done wrong now.
Do you ever think you've lived through every possible iteration of an emotion, and then one day a manifestation of narrative agency shows up on your doorstep to remind you that there is yet another way to experience the acute feeling of a particular loss?
You do what you do best and stare blankly at her, trying to figure out just what in the fuck that might mean.
Oh, is that not a universal one? Well then, I can clarify. It is a roundabout way of saying, no, she is not home, nor will she be for quite a while. I would offer to take a message for you, but with your bag of tricks, I think you can manage the wait.
She winks at you conspiratorially, and you've never felt less like you were in on a plan with somebody.
This has been fun, but I'm not the one you want. I'll go ahead and make myself scarce so things can start moving along. Unfortunately for me, my path is not as flexible as yours, or hers. You've wasted considerable time here as it is, and I have my own preparations to contend with. Scoot along before you touch something you shouldn't.
She shuts the door and you stand, blank and useless, on the doorstep. Maybe this isn't the right house and that lady was just having a good time fucking with you? Jane had said she hadn't used Roxy's dress in forever, since Roxy didn't ever really seem to receive the things she'd sent through the mail. And whoever this was didn't really give you any solid evidence that she knew what you were talking about. You take a minute to consider the cryptic shit the woman who's very probably not Roxy's mom just told you. You feel like a level 1 bugfuck idiot taking on a side quest from an enigmatic wizard so far beyond you that you feel like you should have spent way more time grinding first. It feels like that's what she was going for. Anyway, whatever she said was something like, you could manage the wait? Maybe this one's an issue of time, not space. It always seems to be one of those two bastards, huh? Well, luckily for you, you have power over both. Might as well follow the only lead you have. You perch on the bridge over the river, running in front of the house, and fast forward, holding Roxy's name at the front of your mind. Years swirl by you, in a visual cacophony, buildings rise up around you, lights flash, red and hot. There's a rush of busy energy, the ebb and flow of a colonial tide, and then a stillness. Right when you start to wonder if you've missed her, you feel it. You wait till it feels right, and you stop. Holy shit, that was a while. You traveled forward in time from John's era to meet Jane, you guess, so you suppose it isn't the most unfathomable thing to have to do it again, but wow. The trees that surrounded you just a minute ago are gone, replaced by a sea of crumbling buildings and a low, skittery sound, like pressing your ear to an ant colony. The vibes out here are real bad. You hurry up and knock. The door opens slowly. Roxy. For sure it's Roxy this time. Peeks her head out, spots you, and then squints at the empty street behind you. Seeing no threat, she bumps the door open with her elbow and drops a huge pumpkin in your arms. She stumbles a bit over the door jamb as she does it, and you almost don't catch the pumpkin in favor of reaching for her, but she steadies herself at the last moment and leans against the frame, unfazed.
Here you go, little buddy. I appreciate you knocking. It's a lot more polite than the usual breaking and entering you guys do, so I picked out a nice juicy one for ya. Don't go telling everyone to try this shit though, or else I'll never get a seat again in my life. I'll just be running produce to my door 24/7, unloading snacks to every chest guy in existence without rest. Not for your eating noises for company.
This is not at all how you thought this would go, but you honestly should have known better than to do anything with your expectations but throw them in the trash can. So you roll with it and thank her for the pumpkin, calling her by name for max politeness. You can't see much over the flagrantly large gourd you're struggling to keep hold of, but you feel her go still. Did she stop breathing? You crane your neck to peek over the curve of the pumpkin, and fuck, again with those expectations. You did not anticipate pure terror to be the emotion constructed on her face, but there it is.
What shit did you just say to me?
You said thank you, Roxy? You open your mouth again to introduce yourself as the friend Jane mentioned, but all your words shrivel up in your horrible mouth because Roxy's flattened herself against the doorframe, her head tucked down like you're blinding her.
You're not a... Said my name?
She slinks down to the floor and kind of rolls back inside, shutting the door behind her. You hear nothing and then a deep heaving sob. What the fuck just happened? You knock politely, just once.
Hold on a minute, I gotta do something. Don't go anywhere.
You hear nothing but footsteps trailing away into silence. It could be time to head out, but she told you to wait, so you do. You're nothing if not committed. About 20 minutes in, the low, skittering hum in the background fortifies itself into a more present rumble. From around corners and out from a dilapidated door comes the source. The patter of feet, a low, unintelligible whisper, and the clicking of joints. It's people, and they look like you. Well, almost. It's more like you look like if a child drew them. They're simple frames made simpler with softer edges. Your skin is actually skin, right? They chitter around you and you squish your arm meats to make sure. Yeah, you aren't shyness. Ooh. Wait, or is that bad? You're trying to process whether you're relieved to have the bodily makeup you thought you did, or if you're sad that the space of time you thought you might have finally found your kin was so fleeting. You don't get a chance to sort it through fully, because the new guys are surrounding you and they look hungry. It might well be you or the pumpkin, so you hold it out to them and hope for the best. They take it and, chittering what seems to be their thanks, shrink back into the night. You check them off your mental list of predators and sit for a beat. It feels like you're waiting for more than Roxy's return, like this is a moment of choice. Jesus fuck, you went through all this effort to try things a new way, and what did it get you? Nothing. You've never had such a spectacular failure to connect upon first meeting someone. So what are you supposed to do now? You wait, but the familiar push against your ribcage to decide something doesn't come. What is this drive to make you choose anyway? What if you just wanted to sit on your ass and do nothing, huh? What if you're tired of choosing when every good choice you make takes you further from anything good? And who knows, maybe you're supposed to do nothing. Maybe that's what your plan was all along, huh, tough guy? You don't know who that little jab was aimed at, but you want nothing more in this moment than to petulantly slap the reins of choice off your shoulders. If only there were reins to slap. God, impotent rage is the worst. After a minute of continued seething at nothing, you feel it. We're going to say...
Give up and see if Nepeta wants to hang out.
Yes, we're gonna do that. Nice try, can't tempt me with a fun friend this time, bucko. We're gonna say go see what the chess guys know. More than you know, chungus. Door's locked? Smash a window, bitch. Don't tell me what to do, you're not my mom. Blinking, you feel the desire to act ebb away. It's replaced by a tingly giddiness at the victory of your... what? Inertia? You'll be kind to yourself and call it fortitude for resolution instead. You're gonna see this shit through. You do what you promised and wait. Eventually, you curl up at the welcome mat and pass out like a stray kitten. At some point in the night, you open your eyes for one bleary moment as a chess guy lays a blanket over you. The creak of the door next to your ear jolts you awake. Towering above you in the sharp, bright rays of morning sun is Roxy.
Oh shit, you are real. I came on here so I could prove to the past tipsy me that it was just a daymare or some shit, but now here you are and here I am. So let's dig right in. Did you or did you not say human English words, including my name, to me last night?
You did do that.
Well, time to reckon with this then, I guess. I might still be a little buzzed, so I'm just gonna see how this plays out. Stick with me.
She beckons you inside, and you scramble to your feet and follow her. All that waiting paid off, didn't it? You emanate smugness in every direction as you walk, just in case there are any entities or narrative concepts around that have the capacity for feeling slighted by such a thing. You trail behind her into the living room, explaining how you knew her name via her friends.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense, Lamau. That'd make you the one who convinced Jane of the stuff about our reality that I've been trying to get her to see for quite some fucking time. The benefits of being able to be there to show her in person, I guess.
She stands next to the couch, her shoulders bunched up, popping her fingers. She isn't looking at you.
She told me you could time travel, but she failed to mention the part about how you were some kind of alien. Sorry to offend. But if I'm being real, it's not like our communication style is full and truly without gaps on a normal day. So this checks out.
She scrunches her face up and groans.
Ugh, I'm so sorry. I'm being the jelly belly Deborah Downer. Lamau, what the fuck is wrong with me? Here you are, a friend in the flesh. And I'm just over here whining away about my other friends whom I love very much. This is just a lot, Lamau. I've daydreamed all the potential friend meeting scenarios I thought might ever happen. And without any and all the combobs on my poor whole friends whisking me off to a friend sojourn. I just didn't consider anyone might show up at my door disguised as one of my little neighbors, so...
Yeah, you're super sorry for how last night went down. And for what it's worth, you've made friends with, a lot of people. And all the friend-making skills you've learned in your travels didn't save you from fucking this one up. There's no foolproof way to do it, you figure. You would know, as a proven fool.
Wow, that is good to hear. Still sorry about ditching you right off the bat. I went to find a small sip of courage, which turned into a swig of courage. And that became a whole ass bottle of courage, which is, can happen. So I did not so much come back outside to confront my harsh realities. Namely you. As I did confront the soft real titties of my pillow on the floor next to my bed. Anyway, it's just that I've never heard my name come out of someone's mouth right next to me in real life before.
You don't comment on the booze thing. You'll just meant you don't want to come off as too preachy yet. You try another angle instead. You could always try the meeting thing again.
Like, acting it out?
Oh, sure, yeah. Of course you didn't mean literally going back and redoing it. This is a salvageable situation, and you don't want to waste a redo if you don't have to.
Well, what?
What you mean is you rarely get shit right the first try anyway. Might as well give each other a clean slate. You hold your fist up and knock the air in front of you. You hope she just thinks this is cool and not lame, since you just kind of leapt into it to avoid thinking too much about all your false starts. You don't have to worry for long, because she smiles, and it's brilliant. The shivering tension in her body shifts from anxious to excited as she hops a bit, getting into the moment. She breathes in, smoothing her shirt, and then puts a hand to her ear.
Oh? Is that a knocking on my door? Whomstever could it be?
She bends dramatically in welcome as she opens the invisible door and clasps her hands together as she focuses her bright gaze on you.
Oh, my fucking G. Welcome to my abode, stranger. Soon to be more than stranger, wink wink. Get on in here, let's get to frienditude.
That might be coming on a little strong for typical company, but luckily you are as friend-thirsty as they come, even without old golf ball nuts forcing you to be. You introduce yourself and step over the pretend threshold, hand extended. Roxy takes it and pulls you into a fast, tight hug. You wrap your noodly arms around her and return it, as tight as you can. At first you tell yourself she needs it. After all, you can feel her trembling back, her unsteady breath. A minute passes and you realize your hands are shaking too. When was the last time you just held someone? Just let yourself be held? The moment is quiet. You know it's an awkward pose, the two of you standing, draped on each other in the middle of her house, and you realize belatedly that lying on the floor there's a window just like the one you fell through right before you... Jesus, how did you get out of Jock Scratch's apartment? Now is not the time to think about that. But it's good. Calm. You could keep going, honestly, but she steps back and tucks a puff of hair into place, clearing her throat. She's still looking away from you, but she's grinning.
Yeah, that was much better. Couple of friendship starting pros, am I right?
They'll write guides to friendship about the two of you, you say. She sits down on the couch and gestures for you to join her, so you do. Now that you're settled, what she said right before you did your little skit hits your brain right in the face. Has she really never had anyone else around to speak to? Like, never?
Never have I ever.
What about the, chess guys, as she called them? The ones she mistook you for?
Oh, we can communicate for show, but not with words, really. I mean, I don't mean anything bad about them by it. They are really sweet when they aren't sneaking into my home. Plus, I don't blame them for their ways, on account of them being brought in by the Battle Witch and summarily forgotten. But, I don't know, we're not really on the same wavelength. So it just kind of fucked me up when I thought one of them was looking at me in my eyeballs and saying my name like it was... like I was... well... sorry, I'm still mega new to this.
Her eyelids flutter closed as she shivers. Man, you thought Jake had it rough, but at least he had his grandma for a bit before she died. You wonder to yourself why she doesn't seem to have had someone like that. You're about to do some mental math and see if you can work some connections out, but she gathers herself and interrupts you before you can do anything too smart.
And to be clear, I can see the difference between you guys now. Though you don't not look like them to the age. It's just that you have like a quality of like personhood to you. Anyway, the point is the resemblance is certifiable. But you're like the Velveteen chess guy.
The what? Just because you're soft?
Well, yeah, like that too. But no, you know, like the Velveteen Rabbit? It's one of the few books my mom left me that wasn't super dense and cerebral wizard fiction. So I read it a lot before I got grown enough to really appreciate the complexities of cerebral wizard genre. Wait, yeah, you know, I like wizard actually.
No, you don't know that one. But you are constantly searching for meaning in your fucking life, so you will definitely check it out if there's someone like you in it. And she just mentioned her mom. She's not still around then, is she?
Nah. Father Bitch killed her a long time ago. Before I ever got here. Back when society was, like, uncollapsed and everything. But she knew I was coming, so she left me pretty well stocked with snacks and reading material. Though I have put a considerable dent in that last category, so we shall see if her planning skills truly were up to par when all's said and drunk. I thought maybe I was gonna get to meet her and all my other friends in this big IRL multiplayer game I was gonna kick ass at, but now, I don't know, I guess I'm not playing it anymore.
Shit. You jump up as you put two and two together. You went to the past before, or, well, you came from the past, from Jane and Jake's time, which Roxy already knows, but spatially, you were here in this house, then, in that time. There was a woman who lived there then. You thought she was Roxy's mom at first, but then you maybe convinced yourself she wasn't, since a few hundred years happened between her and now. You don't know, a lot was going on.
OMFG, you what? Was she beautiful? Hold on, let me show you.
Roxy roots around a bookshelf for something, and your brain starts expanding at a rapid rate. Concepts that have been hovering on the periphery of your mind suddenly converge. You already knew that Jane and Jake's deceased grandparents were your friends from the past, but you hadn't considered this, since you didn't know Roxy lived in the future then. Of course all this shit's connected. Of course that would make...
Did she look like this?
She hands you a book, cover open to show the author photo. There she is. Younger than she was when you saw her last night, but older than she was when you first met. You can't help but say her name out loud. Rose.
Oh my god!
Why did grown-up her say you'd never met before, though? Is she not the same person? Fuck the earlier math you were doing. This is way bigger than 2 + 2. This is some serious mental calculus. You wiggle all your brain worms at once, and it hits you. The way it felt different than normal when you hopped from Jake's house to wherever that one place was. How it happened when you brought Jake home again, too. Like, your guts dissolved sideways. How they rearranged slower once you landed. Had it happened when you first landed in Jane's yard, too? You were probably too turned around to even notice then. You know Roxy is super hyped right now, but you tell her you gotta check something. Do some science. You'll be right back. Use that backwards again. What did I tell you about coming back here? Get your grubby time fingers off my pie before you get caught.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Have a good day, ma'am. Okay, she's mad, which you expected. It also felt like an everyday wiggly belly time jump, which you also expected. You pop out of there, this time concentrating on your friend Rose, just a day after you last hung out. You should just feel yourself zoom further backward toward her, right? Off you go, and wrong. It's that feeling again, that sideways dissolvement and reconstruction of your crudely rendered bowels. Oh, it's you. Long time no see. For you, I assume. Funny thing about that is, no, actually, but you'll have to explain later. You apologize for paying her so short a visit and head back to Roxy. The feeling accompanies you yet again. You pop back into Roxy's living room, a fraction of a second after you left. Those brain worms are wiggling at top speed.
Damn, B. I know you don't know this about me, but I love science projects. I got like a whole lab and everything. I'm hex of qualified. Wanna take me with you?
Oh, sorry, you already went.
Fuck, there I go blinking and missing all the good shit. For the best, TBH, or else I'd have sat here worrying that you'd never come back. Abandonment crisis, totes averted for the moment. High five! What red science fact did you just learn? Was it about my mom?
You take a deep breath. You're kinda laying down the knowledge tracks a second before your brain cart rolls down them, so you're hoping this makes sense as you piece it together word by word. You think this is a different universe?
Yo, what?
You've met the woman Roxy thinks of as a mom, but you also have a friend named Rose from a while ago. She's friends with Jake's grandma and Jane's grandpa, and you're pretty sure she even read you some of this same fucking book at one point. But they can't be the same exact people, even if they all look the same. Things feel different there than they do here, like looking in an inside-out mirror with every cell of your body. Those definitely exist, don't worry.
Hells to the yeah. I'm following you. Would love to gaze inside one of those mirrors and flip my shit some way. Would be a liar if I said I'd never thought about that as a general concept. But that's besides the point. More importantly, what you're saying is I have double the moms I thought I had yesterday. And you're also saying you can, like, go visit any and all moms whenever you want? Just going to mom visiting Bender? No rules, just moms? And I can come along?
Well, no, there are a couple rules. But other than that, yeah. Damn, you thought she might take more convincing.
Look around at all my gear and cat clones and general living situation, bud. All I'm saying is none of that is particularly hard to believe. And after all the grief I endured trying to get Janie to believe me, it'd be pretty fucking stupid and not to mention rude as heck of me not to believe you now. You're my friend.
Oof, that's a relief. Your grasp on this shit is tenuous at best, so it's good if she's so easy to win over.
It is one of my best qualities. Or at least, one of my biggest ones.
Oh, though before she gets too excited, one of the rules does seem to be that her mom in this universe doesn't want to be visited. Though, that's kind of a big one.
Oh. I see. Well, did she say why? I mean, if y'all already hung out, what's so bad about one more chill sesh? Unless, I don't know. It's okay for you, but...
You can see her start to blame herself, so you cut her off. It's definitely not that she didn't seem interested, more like she couldn't. She shooed you away every time you tried to say hi, like she was afraid you'd fuck shit up, which, to be fair, you do regularly. She said she was preparing for something. You look around. Or someone.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. It's funny, actually. No, I'm joking your leg, it sucks. But, like, situationally, it's funny. Because that game I mentioned that Janie's off destroying, a week ago, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to play. Was P ready to go to desperate measures not to play it at all, if I'm being totes honest. BTH. But then, Jane said she met you and was all hell-bent on doing some righteous smiting to the whole company. I don't know. It hit me that I kinda did want to play after all. Like, I thought maybe I'd meet my mom in the game and I finally had to talk to this lady I built my whole ass sense of self around. Get to see how she is in real actual life and figure out how bad I fucked it up my version of it. Lol, anyway. You're playing, so it doesn't matter. I've been trying to be a good friend and lend my hacker skills to Jane's cause. But it hurt, and I don't know how to tell her. Then you showed up and my options shifted like 75 more times. I barely got time to come to terms with it being okay to want something before it gets swiped away from me, lol.
Shit, you really didn't mean to mess with her expectations. You should have kept your mouth shut till you figured out what all this meant. She smiles at you, and you don't have to have known her for long to tell that it's forced. Shit, you can fix this. So we're going to do one more visit to this universe's Rose couldn't hurt, right? Hey, who knows? Maybe her mom wouldn't mind another visit if you brought Roxy along. Like, maybe she was just annoyed when it was just your bothersome self. She was definitely a little sad when she talked about Roxy living so far away, temporally speaking.
You really think? I mean, if you don't think she'd mind, I'd be 100% locked and loaded, ready to family bond right the fuck now. Before I get too nervous to change my mind. Should we partake in a celebratory sippy before we go?
She reaches under her couch and pulls out a bottle of vodka. You make a non-committal noise as you work out how to respond. You call Jake out for enabling this, so you don't want to do the same. It's delicate, though.
What am I thinking? She'll probably have her own stash anyway. Why else would she have left such vast quantities of this stuff for me to reckon with?
Yeah, you guess? Though maybe she meant for her to bust into it when she was a bit older, or like maybe for special occasions?
Well, saddle me up and we can add that one to the list of questions to ask her. It's gonna be far down though, I got a lot.
You extend your hand, she takes it, and off you go. You choose a point a little further ahead in Rose's timeline, just to give her a little time to miss you. Just in case. You zap to the doorstep to ease Roxy into it. She plasters herself to the wall next to the door, breathing heavy. You take care of the knocking part.
Oh shit, boy. This is it. Look at all these fucking trees around my house. Hoppy shit.
Old Rose comes to the door, and from the look on her face as she stares you down, she has absolutely not missed you even a little bit. My incorrigible male person. What did I tell you before? You should not be here or now. Her imperial bane of my existence may not be paying attention to what you do with your friends, but she's keeping tabs on me after your last visit. It isn't safe for you here, and I can't have you compromise this location. From the side, Roxy exhales. Rose turns. Her voice is soft and broken, snow falling from branches. Oh.
Sorry, Miss Mom. Mom Blonde?
Roxy.
We didn't mean to bust down operations. I just wanted to meet you.
No, I know. I know it. And despite the circumstances, I'm so glad to have been able to see you too. More than you know. But you can't stay.
Yeah, okay, of course. Yeah, no worries. I'm sorry.
You have to go right now before... A light streaks through the clouds and you crane your neck to see it, but Rose grabs you both and drags you inside, slamming the door. Shit, this is bad, right? Fuck, she's even faster than I thought. I have to call Dave, I have to... She stops muttering to herself and speaks instead to you and Roxy with a sharp, decisive turn of her head. What's done is done. Get back before there's nothing to get back to.
But...
Rose touches her knuckles to Roxy's cheek, and you feel like you shouldn't be here for this moment. Shouldn't have brought her here. Shouldn't have done anything ever. You never learned your fucking lesson. You do the only good thing left for you to do and take Roxy's hand. She's still sputtering, pulling you as she reaches toward Rose. There's a low rumble. The house shakes. Rose has pulled some knitting needles out of nowhere and they're sparking with energy. Now! When you open your eyes again, you're in Roxy's version of the same living room. Or almost that. You know it's hers, though. It's decorated more sparsely, and there's a corner of the house just fucking gone. Rebuilt how the surrounding buildings were, with rickety chess guy patch job. Shit. You stop surveying the timeline damage and instead look to Roxy. She's just standing, staring, blank. Her hand is over her mouth. You're so sorry. You never should have suggested they do that. It's probably best for you to go. All you do is make things worse. Slackness in her face turns to panic.
No, please. I shouldn't have asked to go. It's my fault. Don't leave me.
In your guts, you know you're the one in the wrong. You are supposed to be the responsible time traveler. You don't know how to make her see this without making her feel worse. She runs and opens a cabinet, then a second and a third. Her movements more frantic each time. Eventually she surfaces, successful.
Oh, thank fuck the booze is still here. Always looking out for me, that mom. Look, it's okay. We can still have fun. You don't have to go, please. Don't go.
She's crying as she talks, her voice climbing higher with fear. Her smile is begging you. You know you'll have to look later, check whatever corners of the internet or historical documents Roxy has lying around to see what happened, but you feel in your belly that it will only confirm what you suspect. It would be better if she hated you. You're not ready to face what you did, so you take the bottle Roxy's holding out to you, take a long, burning swig. More for you means less for her, you hope, as you pass the bottle back. Regret. We're going to say, moms are cool, but so are friends. It's not just moms, you tell her. You can definitely take her to go see any one of the friends she already has, too.
What, like, right now?
If she wants, yeah. You're down for whatever.
Is it weird to be so nervous about that? Don't get me wrong, I want to see the fuck out of some friends. Plop my eyes right on those guys. Followed, of course, by hugs. It's just a really big thing and I'm feeling a little dizzy even thinking about picking one.
Yeah, you haven't met all her friends yet, but you know just enough about all the various dynamics for that to make sense. And hey, there's no need to rush. She could take her somewhere else, just the two of you. That way she can still let out of the house and see something new, and you guys can sit and talk through who to go see rather than leaping right in.
Yeah, okay. That sounds chill. Where to then, my cosmic taxi friend?
Let's start with somewhere chill, you say. And she nods. Like many things about Earth, there are places you know exist, but that you have no memory of ever having been to. They're just part of your cultural knowledge, learned by your past self and later subsumed into the ever-widening miasma of your mind. You pick one of those places, somewhere that feels like, at one point, it could have been something you cared about. It looks like a forest at first, but the pine trees have been shaped by wind. You turn, and the earth in front of you butts up against the ancient stone of an outcropping. It stretches out below your feet in a long, striated arch until it curves into nothingness. Beyond it is an endless sea of mountains, rolling and rolling, faded deep green to blue as they turn into sky. The sun is just below the horizon.
Oh. It's so open.
Her voice is the quietest it's been since you met her, her bright, boisterous charm lulled into awe. You ask her if she thinks this'll work.
Are you shitting me? Buster, I have never seen a more gorgeous thing in my entire existence! We are gonna take a fucking seat and soak in this nature with every one of our pores. The visible ones, I mean. Don't go getting any ideas. Wink. Or do TBH. You could be doing naked cartwheels right now, and I wouldn't even notice because, as I said previously, my eyes are slurping up these sights.
Fair. You're not agile enough for that, clothed or otherwise, but you're glad she likes it here. The two of you sit for a while, soaking it in. This is a schedule-free life you lead, so however long it takes for her to talk is fine with you. It doesn't take too long, though.
So, you met Jane. Jake, too, if I'm not wrong. They talks about you some, but they'd be more busy hanging out with you than talking about you if I'm TBH. How about, Strider? He hasn't said anything about you, and I like to think he'd tell me if he got the first visitor his whole life, but maybe he wouldn't be ready to share with me. It's a big thing for me, and for him it'd be even bigger.
She seems poised to continue hypothesizing about him for a while, so you go ahead and tell her that, no, you haven't met him, but you sure have heard a lot about him from Jake.
Lol, yeah.
What, would you get a different version of things from her?
Well, now, how far in this drama you want to get?
You're already pretty far entrenched as far as you can tell, so she might as well fill you in on the rest.
Okay, so, I'm about to lay it all out there for you. Because I trust you, and also, I don't know what to do about it all, and some farm fresh opinions might be just what I need.
The way she turns to you and clutches her hands together, launching directly into the story, you'd never think she was new to slumber party gossip.
We got quite the love quadrangle going down in this friend group. Janie and Dirk are both into Jake. Which, like, fair? He's V-sweet and a hunk no matter how you slice it. Jake, as you may know, is a wild card here. No idea who he might go for, which is also fair, if I am to continue to be a referee here, because Jane is a stone-cold fox, luscious babe going hecka places, and Dirk is... woo! He's just about perfect. So...
She trails off and wrinkles up her nose as she looks back out over the mountains. Her gaze is heavy with longing.
Don't you hum me. What?
Just seems like she's leading up to her spot in the quadrangle is all.
Yeah, well... I'm in there. Liking the last one I mentioned.
Ah, okay.
What? You're doing it again.
Oh, just for a minute you couldn't tell which direction she was headed. You thought she might be jealous of Dirk himself, the way she looked when she said all that, but it's that she has feelings for him? You're just trying to keep up. Roxy laughs and covers her face.
Goddamn cold out here on top of the fucking world. You're not wrong, I guess. In a way.
Not to continue the vicious call-out, but earlier it was her mom she said she tried to be like, and now it's Dirk? You're like the president of the universe at trying to figure out who you are and trying on different ways of being to see what fits, so no judgment there. It's just that it seems like she has a lot of questions about who she wants to be, which is legit as hell. That's just life, baby.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole thing, you know? I wanted to be like her because she's my family and like the only person I knew about for so long. Then I met him and I was like, oof, there's more unlockable options? Who knew? Maybe I could, I don't know. I do have feelings for him, to be sure, but you're right. Sometimes with him it does all get mixed up. You ever not sure if you want to be somebody or be with somebody? I mean, I like the me I made from nothing, and I don't want every single piece of his bullshit, of course, but he's like this shadow just out of my range of vision, like some kind of what if. Me, if I'd just been... I don't know if this makes any fucking sense outside my own head, though. What's that you said about that turnaways mirror? Let's hop on that universe jumping train to see where it takes us. Metaphorically, I mean. I'm not ready to move a single ass cheek of this bitch in rock yet.
It's all metaphorical anyway. Well, not the multiple universes thing, that's pretty much a fact as far as you can tell, but the turning yourself inside out a bit. Whatever it is about him that she feels pulling at her, this thing she wants for herself, it's probably bigger than him anyway. He's just the person who made her notice it, same as it was with her mom. And anyway, it turns out lots of options are unlockable once you realize some locks in your brain to begin with.
Damn, buddy. Is this what it's always like to talk to friends face to face? Hauling up piles of deep, meaningful truths left and right? Or is this just a you thing?
You have absolutely no way of knowing, but you do know it happens to you a lot. It's different every time, though, and it never gets old.
Good, because I feel like this got up one layer of all my thoughts and feelings about all this stuff. I'm a little afraid to dig deeper, but if you're there with me, maybe we'll find some shit in there, not just big empty question marks.
Shit, yeah, you can go for round 2 whenever. Your game digging at Identity all day if she wants, though they did come up here to decide who to visit, right? Does this mean the choice is Dirk?
God, I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe. Eventually. I want to see all 3 of them, plus another friend I haven't mentioned yet, but you get along with her because she's also an alien. But I might want to start with my kid mom, who is visitable. Not yet, though. Lol, I never would have thought I'd be putting this off any longer than I had to, but me and you has been one of the best things I ever did. I want to sit and stew with this friend soup with you for a bit longer, and then savor the bites of my other friend soups when I can. However ready to eat or not I might be. Shit, this metaphod is getting away from me. Can you take over?
You're not sure how salvageable it is, but yeah, you're down to simmer with her as long as she wants. And you'd think she and her teen mom would get along very well, shared mom trauma and drama included, whenever it comes time to introduce them. She shouldn't worry about being perfectly ready either. You haven't skipped ahead to see who she becomes, but you're pretty confident she has it in her to be someone she can be proud of and comfortable being. Someone that can look back on this Roxy with kindness too, no matter what choices she ends up making.
You're gonna make me cry again, please no. Also, not that I'm gonna forget today ever, but I should document.
She pulls her phone out and holds it up to frame her shot. She's glowing in the light of sunrise. You watch her. You watch the sun. You watch the fog curl through the valleys below.
Okay, now a selfie.
She drapes her arm over your shoulder and points the camera at the both of you.
Work it. Oh yeah, that one's cute as fuck.
She messes with her phone, opening a chat with someone whose handle you don't recognize. You wonder, as she sends the photo their way, if it's the alien friend. It'd be cool if Roxy was friends with a troll you hadn't met yet.
Hey, you there? IG not, but it's okay. I just wanted to say hi. I know we didn't talk much about the game not being on anymore last time we got to chatting, but I know we're both feeling it. And I got so many more updates of you when you're back online. So get hype. And check out this choice-ass view I'm peeping with right now with a preview. Thinking of you, TTLI.
It's time to get comfy on this rock. You may end up being here for a while, since Roxy's not quite ready to get zapped anywhere else, which, when you consider it, is fine. There is a difference, you think, between inaction and patience. There are small, weighty changes made in stillness. You, worried you choose too much, and Roxy, afraid she was robbed of choice from the start, meet in the middle. She pockets the phone and grins at you. You lean back on your elbows and tilt your head up toward the sky. Chillin'.
He really deserves so much. And if I ever meet Andrew Hussey in person, I will throw the fuck down. I'm not even kidding.
Oh my god.
Andrew Hussey, this is a challenge. Come to the UK and come to a con when they're not cancelled by the virus, and I will personally throw down with you and your skinny e-boy ass. Thank you.
But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.